What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Phantom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I'm here with Casey and Michelle, and we are discussing Fear the Walking Dead, Season
Hello.
8, Episode 8. And I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm just going to say it like this. If you are a fan of Madison Clark, you may not want to listen to this episode. I'm just going to say it.
I don't think anybody's a fan.
No, there are actually some people out there who like her.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Although if they still like her after this episode, then I'd be surprised. But yeah, there's some people out there who like her. But when I tell you, if y'all thought she got on my nerves last week, this episode here, I probably should have done a drinking game with the number of times I said bitch in this episode because I was like, bitch, what? What? She got on my nerves so freaking bad in this episode. Just, I don't, anyway. So,
what are the things that got? Go ahead and list the things that got on your nerves. What were
girl?
they?
Yes.
Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when they start out the episode and they find this little way station, this little old gas station that's set up, kind of familiar, like, before we find out who's running it, I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, this kind of looks like the gas station that Wendell and and Sarah had. Okay, cool. It's like somebody setting up. And I figured out that, of course, this is the episode that Luciano was going to come back because you see it in the promos. So while they're in there and they're trying to discuss what this is doing here, who runs it, blah, 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 Madison looks out the window. She looks out the door, the glass door, and there's walkers in front. She sees a walker that's missing a left arm. And this bitch starts banging on the window, trying to get its attention. Excuse me, have you not been around the last 10 years to know that noise draws walkers and it puts them in a frenzy? Like, how did you think this was going to go?
You can back up a little bit. Do you not know your child? Because to me, it wouldn't even anyone look similar to her. So that's why I was like, wait a second. That wouldn't be her hair. It wouldn't be her features. I mean, you still have your
She don't know her child because... Okay.
That's all I have to say on that one.
Well, okay, if the walker has been walking around, depending on how long she's been walking around, because I don't think Troy ever said when he came across Alicia. He just said that he did. So depending on the state of her decomposition, she might not look the way she did when she was,
okay,
alive.
I get that, but physical features,
yeah,
you should still be like, you take the fat away, it's still gonna be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even Victor was like, it's not her, Madison.
Right. Hair too. Like, you're not finna go and get your hair colored when you're a zombie. Unless they go into a different beauty parlor again, salon that we don't know nothing about.
We're not even finna talk about the hair. We'll talk about the hair later because I got a couple of things to say about Charlie's, but girl, you cannot tell me that you looked at Charlie and was like, girl, your hair is... You cannot tell me that thought didn't cross your mind, that you didn't hear Michelle in your head when Charlie showed up on the screen.
Only thing I said, oh, she been gone too long. She must have her hair a different color. That's the only thing that came across her hair, because that wig was for... I ain't never seen the white people with the bad wigs.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Walking Dead World Beyond.
Because I mean, we not getting those fresh new, hair pieces. So you got to get what you get.
Honey,
and that was a bag. And I get it. She probably did lose hair when they did find her. They did do the radiation treatment. I won't say cured her, but they stopped her from dying. Okay, that's all well and good. So she probably had to have a wig, but y'all could dress it up just a little bit better. Just a little bit. I'm just saying.
They found that one off of Walker and scraped it. Check it out.
That was that 1999 special.
That
that was only the costume wig. So, she didn't get a chance to get that, 150, 250 wig.
Don't put no heat on
with the lace front.
Right. Mm-mm. But yeah, she sits there and she bangs on the window. And the walkers, of course, Victor's trying to tell her Madison is not her. How about y'all fuss at her for stirring the walkers up in the first place? Like, why the fuck are you banging on windows? Have you not been living in a zombie apocalypse for the last 10 years?
Swear to God.
Like, what? It's almost like what we were saying about that first episode of Daryl Dixon. Do you not remember Zombies 101? You make noise, zombies come. If you bang on a fucking window, guess
they're
what?
Gonna try to get through the window.
And they're gonna break the window and they're gonna come through. We've seen it happen so many times. Like, why would you even do that? And they're just sitting there looking at her like, oh, she's in shock. What? Bitch, you have thought your children were dead for the last 7 years, 8 years, maybe 9 years, depending on how much time it had been from the time of the stadium to the time they went to PADRE, however much time lapsed in there. You thought your kids were dead up until Morgan told you that they were still alive the last time he saw them, or at least Alicia was still alive the last time he saw them. You hadn't thought about your kids as far as going to find them. You knew they were out there somewhere in the world. You just automatically gave up and thought that your children were dead? I should have went and looked for her hard, and maybe if I had done that. Bitch. Like, literally, that's all I kept saying this whole episode. She got on my nerves so bad. And that's just the start. That was the first 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Is where she started banging on the door. I was like, I ain't even made it 5 minutes. And she's already getting on my nerves. So, of course, now their little safe haven is no longer safe because the walkers done busted the damn window. They're in on her. They're coming in. It just so happened that the people who own this place start shooting up the walkers and kill them. And who is it? Luciana. Finally, because we haven't seen Luciana since what, last season? So we finally get Luciana. We get some of her people, and it turns out that she owns this way, or she runs this way station. She says she started making gas for PADRE once they found out that she could do it. They had some military refineries, and she was making gas for PADRE, which explains, because we were all trying to sit there and figure out, like, where are y'all getting gas from? So that explains. And I think one of y'all mentioned maybe Luciana is out there doing something. So
yeah,
we do find out that's what she's doing. She's also set up those way stations to help travelers, to help people. She's giving them food, medical supplies, all this other stuff that she's taken from PADRE. And when they're like, so PADRE just let you do this? They're like, as long as I made them the gas, they didn't really say much. Which, why would you? Because, I mean, seriously, what are you going to do? Kill her? This is the only person that's keeping y'all running. So,
but I did enjoy her coming back. It was just funny when she said to Madison, "You're alive?" Like, this is unrealistic, but okay, right. Sure.
But it's so funny because she said that you're alive, and she saw Victor and she saw Daniel, and Daniel, of course, is all excited because this is like his surrogate daughter, and she's just looking at all of them like in a sense, I felt like she was glad to see them, but at the same time, she was like, "Fuck, this is about to go to shit." Because
because it means something.
Let me tell you, it's demonstrated so much in this episode. You know how we always mess about the main show, and when Rick and his folks show up, that's the beginning of the downfall of a place. Luciana knew she was like, I know Madison. I've known Madison from the beginning. I know this is about to be some shit. And no, I don't want you to hear.
That's why she didn't want her people to meet her to meet the people.
Well, it wasn't even just the people. It was the one person, the driver, who turned out to be Charlie. And of course, all of them are looking at Charlie like, wait, you're alive? I thought you were dead. And then they go into this whole thing. So I would say this is probably the part where Luciana kind of got on my nerves, but I can kind of understand too, if like you're seeing all these people that you haven't seen for years, and now you're starting to think about circumstances, you got to try and think of something quick. So I understand her like, no, tell Iron Tiger to wait. Hey, y'all wait in here, because she didn't want them to see Charlie, because she knew what Charlie had done to Nick, and she didn't know at the time that Madison didn't know. But the way that she handled that, I was like, you sus. Like they had a right to suspect you. Madison had a right to suspect you because you were acting shady as shit, trying to keep this secret. You could have just been like, oh, let them see Charlie, happy reunion. Madison didn't have to know once she realized, oh, she doesn't know. Victor would have been like, well, I didn't think to tell her. Didn't think to tell me what? Oh, that Charlie had come back to us and that she was sick and we thought she was going to die, but apparently she's alive. Yay. Y'all could have played that off so much, but I know it's not in Luciana to like lie like that.
Yeah.
But y'all could have did something. That whole Charlie plot was stupid from jump.
It
was dumb.
It was.
And I mean, I thank y'all for bringing back one of our characters so that we can say a proper goodbye. But I mean, the whole way.
But the one that was about to die, though. So you telling me with all that radiation poisoning, she makes it. And if that's supposed to be her real hair, and she grow all her hair back, okay. And the people who were strong people don't make it, who had some sense about them that wasn't ill or sick.
So we're gonna put a pause in the discussion on this episode, because I want to bring up something that was posted on Twitter, and it had to do with several key characters not returning for the final part of the season. And it was an interview that Andrew Chambliss, who was one of the writers, was talking about the final season. So I can't find it, but basically he was talking about how they
really. Wait, is this the one with the dog and the cat?
No.
Okay.
No. So he was basically talking about how they really wanted to bring back the other characters like Sarah and Wendell and Rabbi Jacob to give them a proper send-off, but they didn't have enough time to do it. So he's like, in his mind, he wants to think that they were part of Luciana's crew and that they're somewhere, somewhere around the country setting up those other way stations that she was talking about. I'm like, but you say this after you've already given us the indicator by Strand that everybody who was on the rafts with him died. Like you purposefully put that line in the episode. And now you want to backtrack and be like, oh, we just want to think that they're out living their best life, setting up these way stations as part of Luciana's crew. Then you should have said that shit. Right. Luciana could have easily said that right there. She could have been like, yeah, when Daniel or Victor, if they would have asked, where's everybody else? Because obviously, if you think that Luciana is dead, you think that Charlie is dead and they're alive, the other people could be alive. If Victor hadn't intimated that he had already, that he saw them dead, but that could have easily been like, oh no, Wendell and Sarah and Rabbi Jacob and a couple of others, they, they're out helping, and Victor would have been like, oh well, I didn't see them, I just assumed they drowned or something. They could have fixed that in a minuscule way. That still does not beat us actually seeing them, right, and getting some proper closure. But for you to put out that bullshit statement after the statement that Victor Strand made last week, screw you. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. Basically, I feel like they felt the heat from the fans who were pissed off that these characters did not get a proper send-off. And now they're trying to like backtrack and be like, oh no, they're still alive, or they could still be alive. Whatever. You already killed them all. Right. So.
Oh, we was just playing.
Anyway, so okay. So I'm gonna take that pen back out. We can get back to the episode.
Okay.
So they get to this thing where Charlie gets off the truck and she looks at Madison. She's like, Madison, you're alive, and Strand and Daniel are so happy to see her because they were like, yo, we thought you were dead. She was like, well, June didn't have what she needed to fix me, but PADRE did, and they healed me and blah, blah, blah. So why weren't you at PADRE with the other kids? Which would have been my question, because she was right around that age.
Yep.
So she was like, well, they didn't know if the treatment would work, and if I turned there on the island, blah, blah. You mean to tell me they couldn't risk one person? Well, I mean, I will say this. I'm glad she didn't end up on PADRE. I'm glad she stayed with Luciana. But you couldn't take the risk with one person. Like, y'all couldn't have 2 people, 3 people standing there guarding. If she turned, kill her, be done with it. Y'all can't handle one?
It's not making sense. Make it make sense.
And then, so then that's when they have the whole thing. Luciana's like, yeah, they gave her to me and she helped me set all this up, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Well, did you not tell her, talking about Madison? And Victor was like, well, I thought Charlie was dead. I didn't see the need. Y'all should have known right there. Because when Madison was like, tell me what, that y'all didn't read the room. Y'all didn't read the outside. Y'all didn't read something. Because that should have told y'all right then and there. Because the way Madison asks questions, she is like a hair's breadth from popping off. And she knew some shit was about to be shady. She was like, didn't tell me what? Oh, it's nothing. We'll talk about it later. No, tell me what?
Tell me right now.
It's a little and Victor, it's a little complicated.
It ain't complicated.
This your best friend. Or this was your best friend. She know when you bullshitting, Victor. And Charlie is the only one who has the guts to say it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I killed your son. But the thing that got on my nerves again.
But she would have had to hear from her anyway, though. It wouldn't have, not that it softened the blow, but to hear from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? She had to be the one to be like, yep.
She didn't have to hear. I mean, at this point, and I understand, yeah, she needed proper closure, whatever. But again, like I said, you didn't even go look for your kids after you escaped from the stadium, however the hell you got out of there. Your first thing should have been to go look for your kids. But what did you tell Morgan? I figured they would be better off without me, or whatever. So whatever happens to them after that, whatever happens to them after that, you have no right to sit in judgment of nobody, especially when you out here snatching children and killing folks for their children. I'm sure Ava Sanderson was not the first person that she killed that had to do with her being a whatever it was, a collector. But that was the thing that really got to me, because I'm like, Charlie is telling you that she did it. She's telling you why she did it. She was like, look, Ennis was gone. I was alone. I had been controlled by people who were adults. People were using me. She didn't know what to do.
And at the end of the day, she was 11. Not that that's an excuse,
but I mean, think about it. We've seen kids do worse with less on this show.
Yeah.
So at least she did have that, where, Ennis and that whole group they literally sent her into the stadium to spy so they could try to take it. Why would Charlie think anything was wrong with that? Because these are the people who are taking care of her and protecting her. She just happened to get into the stadium and see what was going on, and she grew to love Madison and Nick and Alicia. And I think that conflicted with her because she didn't know she's 11. But anyway, all of that is water under the bridge. Well, kind of, sort of.
Well, for everybody else, Madison never had a chance to handle or deal with it.
And I get that, but still, for you to for her to go after
you
Charlie,
just don't have no compassion for Madison.
I don't. I really don't.
But I mean, but
just
I
let that
don't.
be what it is.
I don't either.
Had it been anybody else and somebody killed their kid and they just found out, like, because if you think in your mind, oh, my kid's off wandering, living their best life. This is the fantasy and delusion that I've created for myself. And then somebody comes in and poof, pops that bubble. You're going to be like, hold on. What?
You didn't even care about your kids to go and find them.
No, she did care about. She cared about them enough to leave them the fuck alone.
And you see how that turned out.
So she didn't know that. What does it say?
You're in a zombie apocalypse. At any point, your children can die. How many times did Nick and Alicia almost die when Madison was with them?
True.
Several.
So I don't know, and I can understand. Give her some time to deal with that. Give her some time to process her grief, but the way that she acted, like she was all holier than thou and had never done anything wrong. Oh no, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that because Nick is the only person that Charlie has killed. And she did that as a scared child. And like she said, everything that she has been doing up to this point, like, yes, we saw her work to try to, gain Alicia's trust and to gain everybody else's trust and to become part of the group. But the fact that these are the people who were closest to Nick and they are embracing this girl like one of their own, that should have told Madison something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it.
It should, but you have to realize they also had time to process and deal with everything. She just found out.
And whose fault is that?
I mean, it's her own fault, but well, no, it's Victor's fault because Victor should have fucking told her.
Mm-hmm. But what would that have done? What would they have done seriously?
Because didn't Morgan told her that Nick had died, but that Alicia was alive. Mm-hmm. So she already knew Nick died. Mm-hmm. She just didn't know how he died.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. What would it have helped for Strand to give her that information, especially if he thought Charlie was dead? That's just gonna give Madison more guilt. Oh, I let her into this stadium. I took her in. Maybe if I didn't take her in, she wouldn't have destroyed our home. No, it wouldn't have been Charlie.
Well, she got that anyway.
It would have been somebody else. Because unfortunately, that's the way of the world that y'all are living in right now.
Right.
So she irked me. And then for her to sit here and look at Charlie and be so judgmental and be so hypocritical and then be like, oh, okay, well, you want to prove to me you're sorry? Go kill Troy. What?
Why would you make her do that? And you have to realize what you were doing.
What is your punishment for taking children and killing their parents? Like,
thank you, that part.
Where's your punishment? Because honestly, you're sitting here being like the second coming of PADRE. Oh, I'm going to reunite these kids with their parents. You're the reason those kids are separated from the parents in the first place. So don't come up in here with your whole righteous thing like you ain't never did something fucked up. I mean, I understand that's personal because that's your son. But again.
But you also have to keep in mind that we're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, so you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Hello. So that's what Charlie did. They literally had just killed the people who were taking care of her. She was on her own.
Okay.
Yeah, she got on my nerves. So she comes up with this cockamamie thing. Okay, well, if you want to prove that, you're sorry for killing Nick, I want you to sneak in and go kill Troy. You snuck your way into the stadium. You fooled me. You fooled Alicia. You fooled Nick. You can go fool Troy. Troy doesn't know you. He knows the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is not liking this plan. Strand
because it's stupid.
Like Daniel doesn't like it. Daniel's like, I don't like this. Like, I don't want to lose. And he tells Charlie, like, look, I just found you and Luciana. I don't want to lose y'all again. So she said that. I said, oh, she dying. She dying.
But why would you have her do that?
Madison, because she comes in and she destroys the people that she cares about. And she goes off half-cocked.
Because honestly, you sending this girl to kill him, you could have been done that. I'm sorry, y'all could have did that in the hotel.
Hello.
You could have done that. You have done just as horrible things as this young lady, and she's telling you how sorry, and she regrets it.
Matter of fact,
but first of all, let's try, like you said, she was young when it happened. Mm-hmm. You're a full-grown adult kidnapping kids and having people believe they're never going to see their kids again.
Right.
And you don't know, and that caused their death too. So,
let's go back even further than that. Why are y'all in this situation in the first place? Because your ass double tapped and still didn't get the job done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what was the whole reason you killed Troy? Like, I know Troy was going like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at that time because he seems a very clear-minded person at this point. He does not.
He does. He's a little bit more older and mature.
Right. And I don't know if that's. I don't know.
It's because he a daddy that we now realize.
Yeah, that could have something to do with it too. Like you really have somebody else counting on you, but like. You are in this position. You are in this situation trying to fight for your home against Troy because you did the same thing to him that Charlie did to you. You infiltrated at the ranch. You took over. You killed his dad. His brother got killed. You tried to send him away and banish him, and that didn't work. Again, pot kettle. And like you said, she was a grown-ass woman when she did this. Charlie was 11. So I'm sorry, Casey. I know you finna try to be the Madison apologist or the devil's advocate. I'm not hearing it. Madison is trash. She is trash. She is trash. So this whole thing.
I'm just loving it. It's not us that's saying all these things. You're on the roll. Keep going.
Y'all know, I've said this. I've never made it a secret. Even when we discussed Fear the Walking Dead, when I was on the other podcast, Sci-Fi Party Line, Madison was never my favorite character. I always felt like she made stupid decisions. She always, I don't want to say she placed the blame, she deflected blame on anybody else, but she was one of those people where she's pointing fingers and not really looking in the mirror, or if she's looking in the mirror is, oh, I'm doing what I need to do to protect my family. Guess what? Everybody else is too.
Right. I'm still upset how she treated her stepson in that situation, but I mean, that's a long time. I'm gonna let that go.
Yeah. And I mean, let's be real. Chris was a brat. Brat. He was angry because dad got remarried. He was angry because of all this stuff, and then he was angry that he lost his mom. He had anger issues, right? And he was being a brat.
But the situation, even with losing his mom, y'all gotta understand that this is in the beginning. Now we lose people,
left and right.
Yeah, right. But she being the brat now,
Madison.
So okay.
And
he needed support, encouragement, love, and discipline. He needed a whole lot of things.
So that's what she needed.
And she was looking all crazy, when his dad picked him because he was like, he needs some help.
Yeah, you're right.
Y'all put him out like a dog on the street. Okay, I'm let that go. We move forward.
That's way in season 1. That's too much psychoanalysis.
Oh gosh.
And then
there's no
new friends just killed him in the street.
I'm sorry. There is no reason for her to be back. This should have just ended last season. This is effing ridiculous here.
I mean, I see why they trying to wrap up
with somebody from the original cast. We don't have to.
Y'all could have brought Alicia back for all that.
You could just kill her. Right. That's the one person you could have. And she's like, this ain't really Padre. This not the Padre I was talking about. And some totally different. But we don't need her. Morgan. Morgan, where are you? I need you back.
He made his way back to Alexandria.
Good.
But I need him to backtrack it back over here because I need her to be gone.
Come get your folks, because you know what? If they had gone with Morgan to Virginia, Wendell would be alive, Sarah would be alive, Rabbi Jacob would be alive. I mean, but this show has a history of doing away with characters and not telling us what happened. I still don't know what happened to the damn kids. What happened to all of them? The last we heard, they were with Wendell right before the bombs dropped. So what happened to them? Because you mean to tell me that, and I understand Wendell is in his wheelchair, he's disabled, there's only so much he can do, especially if they got, but you mean to tell me that Wendell survived, but the kids didn't, that he wouldn't have done everything in his power to take care of those children? Not one of them? Not one? Huh. Okay.
Somebody survived. We just don't know who.
You couldn't tell me. But anyway, look, keeping on with the Madison bashing. So after she finds out about Charlie, you know, she gets mad. She goes on her temper tantrum. She goes out into the field and she starts hitting that sledgehammer up against a car hood. Again, bitch, do you not understand that you are drawing walkers? Why are you making all that noise?
She was trying to do.
Huh?
She was trying to do that. She was bringing the walker so she could smash him. That was her. She rage smashed.
Your ass is already asthmatic, can't half breathe. You need to sit your ass down. Deal with your grief by doing some meditation and some yoga.
And in order to not hurt nobody else, she hurt the walkers. Let her get her shit out, Hannah.
She can back it. And then when Victor wants to give her,
he didn't even bring that many of them out. Your face be killing me.
Because I'm just saying, she doing too much. She being extra. She need to sit down somewhere.
Of course she's being extra. She just found out that somebody she brought in killed her kid. She is allowed to get that frustration off.
How many?
She's allowed to let that little monster out.
So let's talk about the number of people.
All she did was fuck up some walkers. She ain't hurting nobody.
Let's talk about the number of people who have died at Madison's hand when they have allowed her and her family respite.
We're talking about old shit. We're talking about right now. We ain't hurting nobody right now.
I'm just saying, if we gonna go there,
we're talking about this moment. You bringing up old shit. We're talking about right now. Everybody done did something. We're talking about right now. Right now, she's just trying to get this frustration off from finding out the bitch she brought in killed her son.
Okay, so let's go back to this discussion about her son, because I will say this. I did enjoy seeing the flashbacks, you know, the little snippets of Nick and Alicia.
I did too. Mm-hmm.
But after Charlie leaves, because what she's going to do, she's going to take the tanker, she's going to try to find Troy's people, she's going to try to trade, you know, gas for whatever and try to get close to him so she can kill him, whatever the case is. So after she leaves, Madison and Victor, they go back inside so that they can use the radio to call back to PADRE. And there is a can with an envelope sitting on top of it with Madison's name on it. So she's looking at Victor like, what is this? Then we find out it's Nick's remains. And the story is when Luciana and all of them were going to clear the roads, because apparently they have cleared roads all the way from Texas to Arizona. When they cleared the roads, they came across the place where they buried him because Charlie wanted to see where he was buried because she wanted to say she was sorry to him. And they decided that Nick needed a better resting place. So they dug up his body and cremated what was left and put it in a coffee can. What the
For who?
Even for the Walking Dead standards,
This is
a
crazy.
what the fuck moment. Who is up here digging up bodies in a fucking zombie apocalypse? Like,
and how y'all know the exact space? Did they mark it? I don't remember if it was marked.
well, they remember where it was because there was that weapons cache.
Oh, that's
and they buried him in that same place. So it would have been easy. And plus it was like I remember it had like the flowers, and of course it was right. It wasn't too far from where he died. And they would have known where that was because I think there was a silo there where he died, right?
Yes, it was.
So it would have been easy to spot. But I'm like, who is thinking, oh yeah, let's go ahead and dig him up and put. Do you know how many of y'all's people deserve a burial place? How many of y'all's people y'all had to just leave by the wayside because of whatever? Did y'all go find them too? Did y'all go find those walkers and put them to proper rest and cremate them and bring it back? No, it was just Nick.
Right.
Like, and I understand the emotion.
The love of Luciana's life.
I understand that, but still, they dug him up. Even for The Walking Dead, that was far-fetched. That was just because if that's the case, okay, if we digging up bodies of the people that we love, that we feel deserve better, Maggie should be carrying Glenn around in a coffee in a coffee can.
Mm-hmm.
All the way to Manhattan.
Because they don't do that in that world.
Well, no. See, Maggie got a different gift from Glenn. She got a kid. So she has something to remember Glenn every day. Even though he hate her. She got something to remember him every day.
Hate is such a strong word, but that's a whole other show. That's a whole other discussion. But so it's this whole thing, Luciana talking about how Charlie wanted to make sure that Nick was buried in a proper place and he got the burial he deserved and blah, blah, blah. This is what makes Madison say, hey, Charlie, you can come back. You don't have to do this. You done already sent her out now. What is she supposed to do? Just turn around? Like, oh, we're gonna change your mind. And the crazy thing is, y'all are talking in code. Iron Tiger and Polar Bear. Madison dumbass gonna get on the walkie. Hey, Charlie. And when Charlie is telling you, I can't go anywhere, his people found me, that should have been your clue to shut the fuck up talking, or to give the radio to either Luciana or to give it to one of Luciana's people who Troy may not know. Yeah, he knew Luciana, but he may not have known Luciana's voice to be like, oh, that's Luciana. Because at this point, Troy doesn't even know that Luciana is alive.
Mm-hmm.
So you just put her in more danger by opening your mouth. And then, of course, now Troy is like, oh, why am I going to trust you? And why am I trusting anybody talking to Madison Clark? Yeah, you and I need to have a conversation. And then he's like, so from what I hear from Madison, you're the one that killed Nick. So what are you doing here? Is she giving you a second chance? Oh, she's, I'm trying to get a second chance. And Troy was like, oh, that must be nice. She ain't giving out too many of them lately. Because by all intents and purposes, if you're gonna give Charlie a second chance, Troy definitely should deserve one by though. If we're going by the same
But Troy came back being an asshole.
And first of all, Charlie shouldn't be. I'm on Charlie now. Charlie doesn't need a second chance, honey. You're good. Every person in this show has killed someone that belongs to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to have you were malicious. You haven't kept doing it. You made changes in your life. You were a kid.
You saved them.
Right. So first of all, this woman came out of nowhere. And trying to run things. You should tell her, boo, I'm good.
That's
you need to be good.
Too. How you gonna come in to every these things and be like you the one that's in charge? Luciana told y'all to stay your ass in.
And Daniel should have put her in check. She ain't going nowhere. She got her life back. She was about to die. She should be dead. She is dead, but we had to bring her back for this episode.
But
she don't need to do any of this stuff.
Right.
Put her in danger.
But Madison gonna walk up to the truck like, I want to see what you hiding. And when they, Luciana's people hold their guns up to her, she looking like, oh my God, what are y'all doing?
No, y'all not gonna kill me.
Yeah, we are, because we don't know you. Luciana may know you, but you notice she wasn't looking too pleased when she saw that you were back from the dead. Even though, yes, she gave you a hug later, but still, y'all had already cleared all the walkers out of stuff before she thought, oh, you know what? I haven't seen this woman in 10 years. Let me hug her.
Hey, girl.
Right.
The fake, oh, hey, girl, hug.
But I will say this for Luciana. Luciana does seem like she is one of those people that forgives a little more, because, I mean, think about it. The last time she saw Strand, this was right after the tower fell. And she still greeted Strand like he was an old friend. So maybe she understood, hey, you know what? People do change. I mean, it's been 7 years. If you are the same person that you have been, I mean, this is going back to the conversation we had with Dead City about Maggie. If you are in the same place now that you were in 7 years ago and there's no growth, what are you even doing with your life? Hello, Madison. What are you doing with your life? Like, you were still making the same stupid decisions. You were still, like you said, thinking you're the one in charge. Like, she comes in and all of a sudden now everybody defers to her. Why? She ain't been making good decisions for a decade. And y'all see what happened? PADRE almost fell. Technically speaking, it did fall because she exposed the man behind the curtain. Now y'all have to deal with this. Luciana's place has now been compromised because of Madison. And Luciana was very adamant about that, because she even told Daniel, he was like, I've been looking for you for years. She was like, I had to make sure that my people, the people under my care, and this was safe. And in order to do that, I couldn't have any ties. She said, that's why I didn't come looking for you. Because stuff like this happens. The whole thing with Madison and she was like, that's why I didn't come looking for you. I needed to protect what I had. Too late for that now.
Way too late.
So when Charlie gets captured by Troy because he knocks her out, and he takes her back to the hotel and he ties her up, and he actually unties her after that, and he has a conversation with her because he's just basically like, okay, look, I just want you to tell me where PADRE is. And she's trying to figure out, like, why do you need to know where PADRE is? Why is it so important to you? He was like, we need a place to set up. I got people to take care of. And he's trying to use Charlie as leverage, because what happens is she tells him, she was like, look, there's a map in the truck that has all of the drop spots. I'm sitting here looking like, Charlie, what the fuck are you doing? And then the truck explodes. And I was like, oh, she was trying to get him to that truck so it would blow up. But like he said,
that. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he was like, you really thought we were going to drive that truck into the compound? Like, you really thought we were stupid enough to do that? And he's right. Troy has never been dumb. He has been a lot of things in this show. He has never been dumb.
That's true. I can agree to that.
So then you have Madison and Strand and Daniel and Luciana, or not Luciana, but well, was it Luciana? Was she there? They go to okay. They go to the hotel and they try to negotiate. And Troy is basically like, look, we have Charlie. We'll give her back to you if you give us the location of PADRE. And he keeps telling them, look, I don't care about her. I just need a place for my people to be safe. And Madison keeps, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? He was like, because you took everything from me. So in hindsight, it does kind of make sense, you know. But one of the weird things about all of this is, as they are coming up to the hotel and they see all the walkers that are on the ground burning, quite a few walkers missing left arms. I was like, what is Troy just do? Like, does he have a fixation?
No, keep in mind when Charlie was waking up, he was cutting arms off.
Yep.
And asking, and somebody said he asked him, "Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Or are there any more?" So he doing that shit on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Does he have? Is it a fixation with Alicia, or is it just that, like, I think somebody suggested, like, he wants Madison to think it's Alicia, like he's trying to mess with her on a mental level, which, given who Troy is and his background, yeah, that sounds about right.
He doing mental war.
He is, and he's winning because Madison is making stupid decisions when she sees these one-armed walkers. But so we get to this part where they're outside and they're negotiating, and Madison is on the radio with Charlie because one of Troy's men is in there guarding her, and she's like, "Look, don't make the trade. Don't tell them where PADRE is. It's not worth it. I need to pay for what I did. And Madison's like, no, you deserve a second chance too. Now she wants to be all magnanimous and forgiving and all this other stuff. And she was like, no, we'll figure a way out of this. We'll get you out of this. We're not going to let you die in there. And Charlie says, well, he can't do anything if he has no leverage. And Madison is like, what are you talking about? And she puts the gun up under her chin. She has these flashes of her times with Nick and then with Alicia. And we see the beach that Alicia took her to. And she shoots herself. And I was like, y'all brought her character back and went through all of this dumbass plot for this.
Yes.
She survived fucking radiation poisoning.
And she had to fight through that.
To have to die like this so that she could so that she could feel like she's making it up to Madison for what she did. Bitch. Man, let me tell you. I was pissed. And I'm not necessarily a Charlie fan in that sense. You know what I'm saying?
But she was done wrong. She was done wrong though.
But I was still like, okay, I like you and I like the person who you've become, but you still killed Nick. So I still had a little resentment for her. But I was like, okay, I see the changes that she's gone through. But and again, we have to remember that before all of this stuff, she was still only 13 when all that stuff at the tower was happening. I think 13, 14 was what she was supposed to be. So she was still a child at that time. But you bring her all the way back. You cure her of the radiation. You make her this contributing member of this grand network of good things that Luciana is
right, because she know how to drive a fucking semi.
Right. And you kill her.
But you're not doing that for other people where, again, you have taken their kids from them. They were raised without their child. You're not trying to really make amends there, but you're going to have this girl do this right here.
And it upset me. Because, and we have been saying this refrain a lot when it comes to certain Walking Dead people. Her character deserved better. She deserved better. Because why is Madison the end all be all that you got to prove that you got to prove you're a better person to? You had 6 or 7 people sitting there in that network right there in that spot who could have sat down with Madison for about 2 hours and said, okay, so let me tell you what she has done since you last saw her. They could have done all of that, and then they could have avoided all of this. Okay, we got to figure out another way to kill Troy. Or like you said, Casey, y'all could have killed Troy in the hotel. Like,
they could have killed Troy so many times.
So many times at this point. You could have killed him right here at the hotel when everything started going to shit. When all the walkers start coming out after Charlie has killed herself and there's like confusion, panic. Because at this point I was like, I need Daniel to go ahead and handle that right now. Because now that's the second daughter Troy has taken from him. I need you to go handle that.
Well, he said he is, and I believe him.
But he didn't do it at this point. We still got Troy running around. And now he's running around panicking because what do we find out? He has a daughter.
Who the mom? Who is the baby mama?
I was like, really? That's what we're doing too? Okay.
And he was trying to make it. He was like, "You took everything from me." Blah 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 blah.
But it sounded like if she took everything from him, it sounded like he got his daughter. What that got to do with the fucking mama?
And see, that's the thing, because if you're saying this, I'm thinking that Madison killed the mama. But when was she?
But how can he kill her if she didn't take the baby?
Right.
So,
you understand what I'm saying?
Or maybe that could, well, I don't know. That could have been before, because we don't know how long she was with PADRE when all that happened. We do know that they quote unquote found her and they helped save her life with the oxygen, but we don't know. I just have questions. I have questions. Because when she was like, when she realizes all of the walkers with the left arms missing, and she tells Troy, she's like, you're the one who's been doing this. You're trying to make me think they're her. Why did you kill her? And they're tussling on the ground. Why did you kill her? And he's, who do you think I took from you? And he's like, the woman who rescued me from the dam, the woman who gave me a second chance.
Who?
Because last I remember, there wasn't too many people left on the dam, and the dam kind of exploded and caved in. So, I mean, we were all looking around like crazy when we found out Nick survived, because we were like, how the hell?
Right.
Because Nick definitely should have been dead.
And then to say Troy survived getting the dam and getting hit in the goddamn head with a hammer.
Not once, but twice. So whoever saved him must have had some hella medical skills. She must have been patient while dealing with him, trying to recover, because
she was patient enough to give him some because they got a baby.
And I was sitting here thinking, we were talking about the way Troy was back then and how, messed up mentally he was. I don't know, maybe Madison probably really did knock some sense into him, because he seems nothing like the Troy he was back then. That Troy was unhinged.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was.
He was, I don't even want to say borderline psychotic. That dude was psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
And this Troy seems nothing like that. And I know we're talking.
Well, he's a dad now.
He is a dad, but you know what? That can't account for that complete 180.
And he still has a part of it in him, though. That's why I'm like, okay, so some of this stuff is not making sense that you really need to go attack Madison. You have a kid. Let's see if we can work so you can get your kid into PADRE. It still don't make sense. I don't feel like a connection that he got a connection to his own kid. Like everybody else who have kids, I feel that they have a kid. Him, I'm like, did you just pick this girl up on the side of the street? What's going on?
Because they
threw it together.
Because here's the thing: you got a kid on that compound with you. The minute that tanker truck blew up, I would have been asking about my kid instead of worrying about building a fucking perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I don't even remember how that fight ended, because Troy walks away, Madison walks away. I'm like, you had an opportunity there to kill him. And
well, Daniel was trying to kill him. So.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, you have them, meeting at the tanker truck. They've got Charlie's body. Daniel has basically told Luciana, he was like, look, I'm going with you. I don't want to be around her. Look.
Wait, they had Charlie's body?
Yeah, she was in the back of the truck. Daniel was sitting back there looking at her. You saw her hand was up under the tarp.
Oh, I missed that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
But at this point, Daniel is like, I'm not staying here. I'm not going back to PADRE. I'm not helping you. This is the second person I have lost because of you. Because if you remember, she was with Ophelia when Ophelia died. Mm-hmm. And Daniel was like, look, fuck this. I'm going with Luciana. I'm going with my family. I can't. He was like, I can't do this anymore. And Luciana's like, here's the tanker. You got enough for a little bit. That's all you're getting from me. Because she said the very reason why I don't get myself involved in this kind of stuff is for this. She was like, now we're exposed. Now he knows that we exist. So now I got to go protect mine. Mm-hmm. I know she's like, Madison, fuck you and whatever horse, boat, whatever you came in on. Because she just literally lost 7 years worth of work. And Madison ain't even been there, 24, 48 hours?
Just showed up on the scene.
And then now you want to feel bad? Oh, I sent Charlie in there to make up for
what. But hell, even after Charlie shot herself, Madison didn't react to nothing. All she did was folded up that map.
She didn't care. She didn't care.
But now she wants to act like she does. I can't go back to PADRE with you. I can't ask anybody to follow me after what I just did. You were asking people to follow you after you kidnapped their kids. And now you want to, I'm going to reunite you with your kids. Some of these kids probably don't even remember that they have parents. Or wouldn't remember who those parents were.
Right.
But now you wanna I'm telling you, worst mistake ever bringing this character back. She has done nothing but irritate me since she got back on the screen. I don't understand. I didn't even hate Victor this much, and Victor went like complete bad guy last season.
Not I didn't hate Victor this much.
And the thing is, I know she's walking away from Victor at the end of this episode. This is not the last time we're gonna see her. I know it.
It's not the last time we're gonna see anybody who just left us. Because they're gonna have to come back together for something.
Yeah.
When I tell you, I'm so
but nobody, to me, nobody really see in the nicest way. Nobody sees Troy as a threat, because any other villain that we've had, they always gunning and trying to kill him. Like there's no, they wouldn't have cared that other people was around. We're gonna find a way to, you right here, I'm about to kill you.
Well, the other thing too is, if you really think about it, Troy is really only a threat to Madison. That's the only person he wants to kill, and the only person he wants to harm. Everybody else is collateral damage because they're with her. But I really feel like he probably would have let Charlie go if he had gotten PADRE, especially now that we know he has a child.
But you have a child, but you seek your revenge. Okay.
Well, like I said, if he really feels like she killed the mother of his child in whatever way, because there's so many ways that could have happened. It could have been an accident. It could have been on purpose. It could have been unknowingly. Like, I'm pretty sure.
But when did this happen? When he got hit on his head, his future wife died? I'm confused.
No, well, he said the future wife is the one who helped him, who saved him.
I know. I'm just making a joke of when Madison had that time. She snuck in their house before they met, after they met, after she had the baby.
I don't know.
He had the baby.
It could have been
and
somebody.
Madison came in there.
It could have been somebody who she met. Like, okay, she was a collector. We're talking about Troy's daughter. That may not have been the only baby he had, or the only child he had. Maybe Madison tried to take another child, or maybe Madison tried to take that child, ended up killing mama, but the mama was able to save the little. I don't know. It could have. Who knows? I mean, all you got to do is fight Madison for about 10 minutes and you'll be good to go, because she ain't going to be able to breathe to do much else.
Take her oxygen away. That's all. Just take her oxygen away.
Right. So there's so many different ways that scenario could have played, and I guess we're just gonna have to wait to find out what it is. But I'm just at this point, I'm not even sure. I think I'm more curious about it than anything. I really don't care. I'm just so tired of this Madison storyline. Like, can we please just?
It'll be over in
What are
months,
Dwight and Sherry doing? That's what I want to know. How are they faring after the death of their son? Like, I know Dwight, they were talking about separating.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they now? That's what I want to know. Where is June right now? Where was she during this episode? What was she doing? I'm sure she's at PADRE, but I'm so sick of Madison. Like, and the only reason why I'm still watching the show at this point is because I'm a completionist. It's only a few more episodes. I gotta finish it. And because I have a feeling some of this is gonna show up somewhere else in the Walking Dead universe. Somewhere.
I hope not. I hope not.
You hope she don't show up nowhere else?
I hope some of this stuff, I just hope this is it. Like, it's a closure, because this is a waste of time.
It is.
It is really a waste of time.
And it would be good if the
and
story was good.
You're not ending. I mean, I just had so many feels when the original series ended. Like, you at least had us all the way. Like, we are so excited. It was, was good. We didn't have these questions. You just didn't pop somebody up from 5 years ago. It was on point.
I mean, we had questions, but it made more
not like
sense.
Not like this about somebody popping in. We had questions on where you get your new hairpiece. However, we did not have these questions we got now about these characters and their choices and why you brought them in. Because Charlie, why would you do that?
Y'all
like, give us Charlie for maybe 3 episodes, but then it's like even Daniel see Charlie, and then you have her kill herself.
Right. And
which doesn't make Madison a hero. If you try to make Madison the hero of this story and Troy the villain, you really just made Madison the villain. I don't care. I don't care for Madison. You let this young lady do this. So, and you have done horrible things to people. She done one thing.
I mean, shit, the person who was trying to take your home right now, you knocked him in the head twice with a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm tired. And I'm like, we have what I think is 4 more episodes to get through. And I'm just like, y'all got to give me some. Can we get a break from Madison? If we could just get one episode. Looking at the promos for the next episode, I'm hoping we don't see her. But oh my God, when I tell
you, that look like it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, you see where they went back to. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say it now, just in case nobody, some people don't watch so I'm not gonna say, but that looks like an interesting episode, and it's one that should have absolutely nothing to do with Madison. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that's the case,
right?
Because I can't do her anymore. I can't. I'm done. I'm so done. So, yeah. Anyway, I told y'all, Hate Fest. I can't do it.
Okay.
If there was something redeemable about her character, maybe. I can't find anything redeemable about her character, and that's just the character. Now, if you want to get into this acting stuff, let me tell you, her fake crying is getting on my nerves now. I'm like so unmoved by her emotion. Like, I can't. Just bring Alicia back. Bring her back. Just.
You think she's gonna show up?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I would say maybe just because of the fact that they've started showing the flashbacks. I mean, we can't get Nick for certain because we know he was dead. Like, we saw him die. We
Yeah, he
saw them
completely
bury him.
dead.
But like y'all said, at the end of Alicia's last episode, it was kind of left very ambiguous as far as whether or not she was dead or not, whether that was just kind of like a fever dream or whether she woke up and she was healed.
And see, my concern isn't even that. My concern is, and I'm not gonna look it up. My concern is if the actress is gonna come back. And we're not gonna get the back of her head or something, because that's what I'm concerned about that.
I don't think they would do that to her character.
I hope not, or she just be completely dead.
Yeah. But they would have to give us closure on that. And I think in order for them to do that, for that character, like the character who started out this show, because originally this show was Nick and Alicia, if I'm not mistaken. Nick in the church and then Alicia with the boyfriend. So I think if they're going to close it out and give us closure on her story, whether she's alive or whether she's dead, I kind of feel like she has to come back for it. And she is, I'm sure it's because they've asked her back, but she is good for closing out her character arcs like that. Like I remember when she was on the 100, people were clamoring for her to come back because her character on that show was such a badass, and she did end up coming back. I think that final season. So I'm like, okay, we may get her.
So we may be able to get her character, or Madison finds her as a walker, and they have her as a walker, and she may be able to make peace.
I don't think they would bring her back.
And let her daughter. Well, it may not be her. This could be someone that's similar. What it would look like, and then the walker bites Madison, and Madison lays there and say, "I'll just go ahead and turn."
We don't have to wait until the last episode for that to happen.
It happened tomorrow.
We really don't. We really don't. I'm sorry. I do not like this character. I don't understand why they brought, and I'm sure they probably brought her back, one for ratings and two for nostalgia. But I'm like so over it at this point.
They could have did her like they did Charlie. One episode, one of the.
It's just.
But then you wouldn't have her to create all these scenarios for the rest of the episodes.
You know what? That's true. We had plenty of other characters that we did give a damn about that could have created some of these scenarios, and they probably could have done it better. We didn't have to. We didn't have to go through all that. I mean,
you know how much they knew how much everyone really wanted Madison back.
I'm gonna be honest. I know I was complaining about PADRE and wanting that storyline to be over quickly. I would rather have Shrike and her brother back than to deal with Madison. Dead ass serious.
That's true.
At least that was something fresh. It was something different, even though it was stupid. It was still different. And I didn't have to listen to Madison, Alicia, Nick. I don't have to listen to that all the time.
Say it again.
Alicia. Maybe if I would have left. Maybe if I Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah. Anyway, that's all. That's the last I'm gonna say about it. Y'all got any final thoughts on this episode? Can y'all tell I've been waiting to get that out? Like,
yes.
We got 4 more episodes to deal with this bullshit. Oh,
I promise you're gonna survive. I promise.
It is difficult.
It is.
It's a struggle.
It is, because I'm looking at this like.
I mean, like, I can literally have anything on playing while I'm even doing work, and I'd be like, "Nah, I can't do this. I can't."
Because you're looking at the TV like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's like I just can't. I'm just going to start again tomorrow.
This like what elementary, middle school? I can't. I can't.
Y'all funny as hell.
Oh my God. Okay, so we have 4 more episodes left to discuss. And then at some point, we are going to get around to discussing Daryl Dixon because that is a show I actually did like a lot. But we also finally have a release date for The Ones Who Live. It will be premiering February 25th. So
awesome.
Y'all know Casey is excited about that one. I'm excited about that one.
Super.
I am hoping that they had some of the writers from the original show on their show, because if they have these writers here, I'm gonna throw something at my TV. But I don't think they can't do Rick and Michonne like that, because I think one Andrew and Denai would probably look at that script like, what the
no.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that one. I guess that's it on Walking Dead news front for right now. Y'all have final thoughts? For y'all listening, I wish you could have seen Michelle's face just now. I think Michelle agrees with me. I verbalized everything that she was feeling, judging by the look on her face.
I feel differently, so.
Well, you enjoyed this?
I mean, I didn't.
I'm not gonna shame you, but you enjoyed this.
What I'm enjoying is getting through the story.
Okay. Like, I'll go with that.
I'm enjoying the way that things are progressing. Do I like everything that's happening? Of course not. But I'm enjoying getting through the process so we can wrap everybody up.
Okay. So I'm going to go that route too.
I will say that they are moving expediently. So
yeah.
And we're coming to an end. We get closure.
Of course, there's stuff in every episode that gets on your nerves, but I'm glad that it's progressing, and we're gonna find out hopefully what happens with the people we know that are left. You know what I mean? So
it would be nice. They still have 4 episodes to fit in what happened to Sarah and Wendell and Rabbi Jacob. And
I think you're gonna have to let that go. We're not getting.
We're not gonna get.
So it's okay. So I'm gonna be like,
not okay.
I'm gonna be like Casey. I'm gonna find positives. So I was excited again about Luciana and Daniel reuniting.
Yes,
I like their connection. I was excited that she is carrying on the gas station of helping people. So that means people are still helping each other. So there's quite positives in that. I'm excited that we have come up with cures to help with radiation poisoning and bites in this type of environment. I hope you can pass that on to the Commonwealth, because I sure would think they will really need that help too.
They got to make their way towards that side of the country first. We still don't know where PADRE is, but obviously it's got to be somewhere close. If
we are all over a map, but we're gonna be positive that
because
there's somewhere in between,
right? Because if we know where next episode is, we know where they at.
Yeah. So
they're traveling back and forth. So okay,
but they got gas now, so.
But I mean, and it's a positive that Troy was able to find love after the hammer incident, and he didn't become bitter, and that he had a love child and they had some time together. So he's able to understand like how his family felt and everything about him.
Okay, I'll give you that.
See, I'm gonna get some good one.
I will say this though. Thank you, writers, for not changing Luciana and continuing to make her the baddest bitch on this show. Because when I tell you, Luciana came in, she didn't get emotional about nothing. She was like, look, she was all business. She stood her ground, and she was not here for the shits. And I love that about her character.
Yeah, we wish we had more of her, but okay, I'm sticking to positives. Yes, very strong character. Yes. Yes, I'm glad that Madison found out, what happened, really, really happened to her baby. Nick. I'm positive that Charlie has found peace in this world and beyond. because I guess she felt she made peace with what she did, because that probably was bothering her, because she's not a killer like that. So okay,
good job.
Okay, so
the opposite.
So and I appreciate that, and we're going to end it on that positive note. That is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media on Facebook, Instagram, that other thing, and Threads at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.